We are really ushering in this new era, man, because this is huge. This is amazing. WWE finally doing collaboration with other promotions that we have been wanting or asking for years. And TNA is a major key, man, a major factor, for the people who don't watch NXT anymore, because I know NXT Black and Gold was really peak and a lot of people stopped watching once it got revamped to 2.0 and they gave up on it because they felt like Vince was going to destroy and kill like Triple H's creation. But I promise you, you have to get back into NXT. If you have not watched NXT since 2.0, you need to get back into it because NXT is arguably the best wrestling show weekly. NXT just lost, a couple of their major stars. They lost Carmelo Hayes, Braun Breaker, Baron Corbin. They lost Kiana James. They lost Blair Davenport, Ilya Dragunov. All these people they lost in the draft. And now, you thought like, losing those people in the draft doesn't really look good for NXT's roster. And look where we get now. Jordan Grace now shows up. Ethan Page made his debut. They had Sexy Red show up, and she was entertaining and fun to watch too. And even though she didn't do much, like it was still entertaining and fun. And the NXT crowd will literally put anybody over. Anybody who could show up to NXT can literally be over in their very first day, and that was what Sexy Red did. So NXT is really the place to watch because there's not only so much talent that has so much potential to be great for the future, but you really never know who can show up. Main roster people can show up and do things, celebrities can show up, people from other promotions can show up to the show. And after reading this, saying there's belief that there will be some sort of NXT and TNA relationship together, this is going to be so beautiful, man, because if NXT and WWE are going to be collaborating together as one to work with TNA, this could mean so many scenarios. We can get a WWE Forbidden Door PLE with TNA. We could possibly get WWE superstars showing up to other promotions. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine AJ Styles in 2024 showing back up to TNA, the company that he helped build from the ground up? I mean, can you imagine like if Seth Rollins showed up to TNA? If Cody Rhodes popped up there, I mean, my gosh, like the thoughts and scenarios. Jordan Grace is the TNA Knockout Women's Champion. She's at the top of the TNA Women's Division, and she showed up to NXT. So there's so many possibilities of this that could be so great for so many reasons. This is also a smart move for TNA because it gets the eyes and the product back on the TNA brand as well. Because I grew up at peak TNA, when TNA was at its peak, when they had like Kurt Angle and AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, Kaz, like so many people on that roster that were just so great. And then it kind of died down and it was kind of, almost like really a nonchalant business. Like that business almost actually died. Like TNA almost went out of business when they were Impact Wrestling at one point because they lost viewers, they lost TV deals, they lost everything, and they had to rebuild themselves back up. Shout out to Scott D'Amore, man. Scott D'Amore, even though he's not with TNA anymore, he helped rebuild that company back up from the ground to make it to what it is today. And now superstars are intrigued to go there, and now they could have a collaboration with WWE, which could be really good for them because if you haven't watched TNA in years, but you watched back in the day, this could be an exciting time for you to get back into the product as well. This is something I have honestly prayed for and wanted for so long for WWE, being a diehard WWE fan and a diehard professional wrestling fan. I've always wanted WWE to do these cross promotions because I always felt they could make a lot of money doing it and you could create a lot of dream scenarios, man. Like the invasion angle back when WCW and ECW came over to WWE after they got bought out by Vince McMahon, was done the wrong way for a lot of people, and it was one of the biggest downfalls because they had a lot of potential to maybe be the best storyline in WWE history, in professional wrestling history. Well, now maybe we can get that. Maybe if TNA and WWE collab, TNA also does stuff with AAA, in Mexico, so that's another collaboration WWE could have. I mean, they do little things with New Japan as well, so I mean, there's a lot of scenarios that could come out with this that could be for the better, man. I'm actually really excited to see what could turn out, man. Like, what if Josh Alexander pops up in NXT? What if Moose pops up in NXT? What if you have like Trick Williams show up in TNA? I mean, even guys on the main roster. What if, like I said, what if they end up showing up in TNA, man? Like AJ Styles is bound to show up in TNA. I feel like how could he not? How could you not put AJ Styles back in TNA, especially now that it could possibly happen with him being a WWE superstar, but also the possibilities of this cross-brand happening with TNA and WWE working together. That's honestly a layup right there. That's a must. Like, that's the first guy that needs to make the jump. The first guy that needs to show up on TNA television that's a WWE superstar on the contract is AJ Styles. The big pop that he would get and the emotion that he would make people feel would be endless. It's the first guy that needs to show up on that TNA, television. This is very exciting though, man. You already got AEW doing stuff with New Japan. Their Forbidden Door pay-per-views have been really good, and now it's finally time for WWE to step up and follow those footsteps to do cross-brand stuff and to do it with TNA. Oh man, this is gonna be great, man. I honestly think this is gonna be great. I can't wait to see it.